Many people also called Noah crazy. And then the rains came, and all the fact checkers died. You have to persevere. Now, I'm not asking you to get ahead of President Trump. But if you were king for a day, tell me how you would save money in the federal budget without impacting the American people. OMB has estimated that in fiscal year 2023, we sent out $1.3 billion of checks to dead people, which were cashed, obviously fraud. When you die in America, your name is sent to the Social Security Administration. As you know, you become part of the master death file. Senator Carper and I discovered that Social Security would not share that information with any other department of government. So we passed a bill saying you have to share it with Treasury and other people who write checks, so we'll stop paying dead people. Duh.
Fellow patriots, welcome back to the channel that tells the truth the mainstream media won't touch. Today we're diving into a clip that sums up everything broken in Washington, D.C., and how we, the people, are the ones picking up the tab. I'm talking about the explosive exchange between Senator John Kennedy and Russell Vought, President Trump's former budget director and a nominee to head up the OMB again. The topic? Government waste, fraud, and how $1.6 billion of your taxpayer dollars went to dead people. Yeah, you heard me right. Dead people. You want to talk about insanity? That right there is your hard-earned money, money you worked for, money they took from your paycheck, sent to people who've been 6 feet under for years. And guess what? The checks were cashed. Fraud? Obviously. Accountability? Nowhere to be found. Senator Kennedy nailed it. Our spending has gone up 55% since 2019. Meanwhile, our population? Just 2% growth. You don't need to be an economist to know that math doesn't work. Let's finish watching and I will break everything down for you all.
Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Vought, welcome.
Thank you, Senator.
In my judgment, I do not know a single person in Washington or outside Washington who knows more about the federal budget than you do. I used to read your suggestions during President Trump's first term, many of which Congress ignored. We shouldn't have. I am delighted that the president picked you. I have read that since 2019, the population of America has increased 2%, and our spending has increased 55%. Under President Biden, I wish him well. If we had discovered life on Mars, he would have sent it money. Is that sustainable?
Senator, it's totally unsustainable, and the problem is that you go on these trajectories that we are currently on, and you don't know when you're going to get to the point of which you have some major problems as an economy and as a country, and we know that historically.
I hope you'll start with the low-hanging fruit. There's a lot. When we sent out stimulus checks to save our economy, $1.6 billion went to dead people. And the checks were cashed, obviously fraud. OMB has estimated that in fiscal year 2023, we sent out $1.3 billion of checks to dead people, which were cashed, obviously fraud. When you die in America, your name is sent to the Social Security Administration. As you know, you become part of the master death file. Senator Carper and I discovered that Social Security would not share that information with any other department of government. So we passed a bill saying you have to share it with Treasury and other people who write checks, so we'll stop paying dead people. Duh. We got pushback, believe it or not, on the bill. We had to agree to a trial period, and that trial period ends in 2026. Will you help us make that program permanent so we can stop paying dead people?
Yes, Senator.
Now, you've served in Washington for years. You're going to be challenging the status quo. You're going to be called crazy. Many people also called Noah crazy. And then the rains came. And all the fact checkers died. You have to persevere. Now, I'm not asking you to get ahead of President Trump. But if you were king for a day, tell me how you would save money in the federal budget without impacting the American people.
Thank you, Senator. I think it's the strategy that we had in the first term, which is to go really and take a very close look at the agencies that are spending and wasting money, and I believe weaponized at times against the American people. When they put a 77-year-old Navy veteran in jail, Joe Robertson, for 18 months for building 4 ponds on his ranch to be prepared for wildfires, that's the EPA. I think we have to look at that, and we have to look at the agencies that Congress has a vote on every single year through the appropriations process. And then I think we need to go after the mandatory programs that Senator Cornyn mentioned that are keeping people out of the workforce because they have become not just a social safety net, but they have become a benefit hammock, and increasingly so in the aftermath of COVID, as many of these policies were impacting people's decisions to go back into the workforce. And I believe, and because we produce budgets along these lines, you can get sizable levels of savings and reforms that can lead to a balanced budget and get us back headed in a fiscal trajectory, not only that we would all be proud of, but we could say, this is going to keep us from fiscal ruin.
My time's expired. Ella Porter, do you have anything you'd like to add? Okay. Now's your shot. Thank you, Mr. Vought, for your time.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Under Biden and the Democrat-controlled bureaucracies, it's not just spending, it's uncontrolled, unmonitored, and unsustainable. If we found aliens on Mars like Kennedy joked, Biden would be writing them checks too, probably using your Social Security to do it. This is what happens when you have a federal government bloated with agencies that don't talk to each other, don't care about fraud, and refuse to change. Kennedy and Vought talked about the Social Security Administration sitting on death data and refusing to share it with Treasury. Why? Because they were more worried about red tape than common sense. Here's what the elites don't want you to know. People like Russell Vought are a threat to the status quo. He's been in the trenches trying to expose how much waste goes into agencies like the EPA, which, by the way, once threw a 77-year-old Navy vet in jail for building ponds on his own land to prepare for wildfires. That's your government, folks. That's your tax dollars funding tyranny. You think that's about environmentalism? No, it's about control. It's about unelected bureaucrats using the law to go after law-abiding citizens. We need people like Vought who are willing to say, enough. Vought made another point that most politicians are too scared to say out loud. Mandatory spending programs, welfare benefits, you name it, have stopped being a safety net and turned into a hammock. Too many able-bodied people are choosing not to work because the government makes it easier to stay home. Now let me be clear. I believe in helping people in hard times. But I also believe in personal responsibility, hard work, and American grit. What we're doing now, we're encouraging dependency. And it's driving our nation into fiscal ruin. Kennedy told Vought he'd be called crazy for standing up to the system. He said they also called Noah crazy until it started to rain. That's what this fight feels like. People who tell the truth are labeled radical or extreme. But here's the deal. The extreme position is pretending we can print money forever, send it to dead people, and never suffer consequences. We need fighters in Washington, not compromisers. not career politicians. We need men and women with a spine, people like Kennedy, like Vought, like Trump, who will stand up to the deep state and say, and no more. So what can you do? First, stay informed. This isn't about party politics anymore. It's about whether we have a country left. Second, vote like your freedom depends on it, because it does. Support candidates who actually believe in limited government, balanced budgets, and the Constitution. Third, speak out. Share this video. Talk to your neighbors. Call your representatives. Make sure they know, we're done being ignored. Folks, this isn't just about $1.6 billion to dead people. It's about a system that's forgotten who it serves. But as long as we have breath in our lungs and love for this country in our hearts, we'll keep fighting. If you agree, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment below. How would you fix the federal budget? Let's keep the conversation going. God bless you and God bless the United States of America.